Okay guys, welcome back to an new tutorial. So in this tutorial I wanna be talking about something new we see. I wanna be talking about variables. So we have been seeing how to format and then how to print two decimal places, 3, 4, how to declare that you wanna use float for decimal places. You wanna use the decimal percent D for integers or whole numbers. You wanna use percentage for strings. Yeah, I forgot to tell you that strings. I'm not gonna use strings like we're writing. Manzola is a good programmer ever. That is a string. You got it. So first, so good. We wanna be talking about something new called variables. Variables basically are placeholders. When I talk about placeholders, you've been using them in mathematics for a very long time, but I may get to get the correct name for them. But the correct name for them is what we call placeholders. So for example, let me try and show you this one. What I'm writing is not basically a code, but it is something like a code. I want to show, like when you say that y equals to boys, right? X equals to girls. Then you say both X and Y are good. Are good. What you're basically meaning is that both girls and boys are good. You see that? I think now you're getting the logic of what a variable is. It's just a placeholder. So you're just using X to refer to girls and Y to refer to boys. That's what we're trying to talk about here. So you got it right. And before, for you to get it better, let's get started. We do away with all this one and start on a new line, right? Yeah. So we get started. So in writing a variable, you need to have some basics. The first basic is telling the compiler what you want. You can write a variable like Almeida Manzolo without spaces. That can be a name of a variable. A second type of a variable can be an alphabet between A to Z. We call it A to Z, either capital or small letter, uppercase or lowercase, whatever you may understand, but not numbers. Variables doesn't have space like A, B. They don't have that space. So you keep a variable intact. You can write it like Almeida, and have those special characters like this one, then Manzolo. It doesn't care about that. But what you need is to have the basics that I've been talking to you before. Don't use numbers, don't use spaces in variables. So when we are declaring a variable, we need to tell the compiler. I've used the term declaring. Declaring means you are telling the compiler that I want to use a specific type of data. So for example, you want to use number. You need to tell the compiler that my variable is going to carry numbers. You want to use strings. You're going to tell the compiler that my variable is going to carry strings. You want to use characters, like a single character. You need to tell the compiler that my variable is going to carry a string. You see that? So what we need basically here is to develop programs that work efficient. Believe me, if you mess up with the rules that I've given you, you're gonna keep on wondering what the hell is this? But it works fine when you follow the instructions. For example, I want to use the basic one that's commonly used. And before I start, I was forgetting. Don't use variables for function names like main. You're calling a variable main. Don't call that. You are calling your variable printf. All right? Don't call your variable that name. You're calling your variable scanf. You're calling your variable gets. So avoid those. Those are not avoid function names for variables. You will be terminating the compiler because when it reaches there, it gets that as a function and not what expecting to be called a variable. Alright, so let's get started. Now you're good to go. Our first variable, I want to say int main. You see that is an error, so I want to say int age. Let me use age is good. Let me just use age. Right? So I'm telling the compiler that my variable my variable age is gonna carry numbers. You get me right? It's gonna carry whole numbers, integers. So int age. After that, age is equals to 20. I'm 20 years of age. So we say int age. So age is equals to 20. All right. So let's add something else here. Let's say printf. Yeah, something like that. All right. So Manzolo is %d years old. Break to another line. Come here, just the way we are declaring, we say comma age. You see that? So there we are. So we want to print Manzolo is %d years of age. That is to say Manzolo is 20 years of age. Believe me, it's gonna work. If we messed up, what the heck is that? We don't know. But everything is gonna work. My compiler is too slow. I don't know why. I don't know how many times to compare to this silly computer. It doesn't have shame. So it's working smart. Have a look at it. Manzolo is 20 years old. You got it? We are using integer. Variable name is age, and that age is equals to 20. So when you call that age, you're calling 20. You got it right. So whatever we can do, we can say like we want to have something else, like say age is equals to 2000, like a mathematical operation like 2000. Yeah, we are in 2020 minus 2000. Yeah. So we say something like that, and we build and run. You're gonna still give us Manzolo is 20 years old. We check out on that and see if you're talking about something functional. Alright, so let's see. Manzolo is 20 years old. Whatever you can still have an advanced program. Like you say, you have int age, you have int like say year of birth, right? Then you say int date, today, right? Today. So that's what we want. Let's say just current year. It wanna be easier. Current year. That's what we want. So those are the two things. So we can have, like say, age is equals to current year, all right, minus year of birth. That is the function. Fine. And we say year of birth is equals to 2000, and the current year equals to 2020. We got it. So let's try this one out. If you're gonna give us 20, let's check this. Manzolo is 20 years old. We can change. Say it is 1999. 1999. Right? So we come here, build and run the project. We see it. We're gonna return 21. Believe me, if it doesn't do that, kick me from this tutorial. Because what I'm doing for you is a reality. Let's see that. Manzolo is 21 years old. You got it. So guys, that's all about variables. We declare the integer, the type of variable, the variable name. Sometimes you can have the variable having a value. Later on, we're gonna discuss about different types of variables and how they apply and how they're being used. So guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Let's meet in the next tutorial. Bye bye. See you in the next tutorial.